We have made it to the fourth and final week of One Book July. Let's check in and see how things went. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, I have been participating in my very first One Book July. You may have heard of One Book July from other creators. It's been around for years and years and years, but this is my first time trying it. And each week, as I've been kind of going through the journey of One Book July, I have been checking in with you guys once a week and seeing how things are going. We are now in the final full week of July, so this will not only be like my entire overview, but then my thoughts at the end as well, seeing as how this week we are going into August. So I'm not going to drag it out into another week or break this up into two videos. So this could be a bit of a chatty video. So if you want to grab some coffee, some tea, a glass of wine, we don't judge around here, then go ahead and do so. Maybe even grab your planner and maybe consider how July went for you and what August is going to look like for you. Okay, so the book that I was in for One Book July was the B6 Common Planner from Sterling Ink. I did not change the cover at all the entire time. I'm still really happy with this Moterm cover. It's just their black B6 journal cover, so there's no strings in it. I didn't have rings in it and have to take them out. You can actually order them this way. They have a great deal of pockets. I'm just not really big into decorating the pockets. It's just not in my skill set or wheelhouse, if you will. I haven't changed the stickers on the front of my planner, just haven't really felt the need to. They're also not stuck to the planner because I like changing things up, but I'll probably do that for the month of August, not entirely sure. I have a clear cover on here from Lauren Phelps Designs. I really like their covers and they fit the Sterling Ink Common Planner really, really well. And I also want to add that my Common Planner is full year, but it is academic, so it goes from July of 2024 to June of 2025. Not a whole lot new going on these pages. I did add a little Kermit sticker. I order stickers from Redbubble pretty frequently. I say pretty frequently, maybe like once a quarter, but I do love them. They had a really great 30% off sale, and part of the stickers that I got were these little, like a little set of Kermit stickers, and I thought that one was really cute, and I was ready to add something to it. I haven't done grocery shopping yet, so I have no new stickers to add here, but I shared last week that I got this idea from C. Amy Draw, who I think has a page or two of like stickers from her bananas in her planner, and I was like, that is just too cute. So we will see where this takes us. Still haven't really touched the year at a glance. I'm probably just going to find some dot stickers and cover up the months that have already passed. Nothing too complicated with this page. I did finally get to add some new faves to the favorite pen and marker page. I recently got some markers from this brand called Zaire. I think that's how they're pronounced, from Amazon. They are fantastic. I will link them down below in this video, but they come in a variety of sets. I think I got the romance set and this like cool set, and they're just super fun. I did have to put the names on them because they didn't have the names on them, and I'm really trying to like embrace this habit of taking my markers out of their packages, and I just can't take them out of their packages if I don't know what names the colors are, in case I want to go back and use a color that I love. And I know some people are probably like, girl, you are just obsessed with having your markers labeled. Yes, I am. And let me just, for 5 seconds state my case here. So one of my favorite colors is this carmine color. Here's the marker for it, and then here's the color for it. They're not even like close, right? So if I grabbed this, I would think it was a totally different color. This is why I love swatching my markers, and better yet, this is why I love having the name on the marker. It's just for more of a peace of mind kind of thing when I'm looking for a specific color. Also, if you're someone who like is a hardcore color coder and you grab the wrong color, then I just know that you're gonna get what I'm saying. I did decide to take the tab off of this page that said projects because I think that this is just going to be an overflow of favorite pens and markers as the year progresses. As you can see, I don't have a lot of empty space left, and I love markers. So we just know that this is going to get filled up fairly quickly. The goals and habits page. I have really loved this page and have really just embraced it. I am going to change up some of the habits that I'm tracking for August. I've talked about this before. I'm probably going to take the no soda off. I'm trying to figure out what habit I want to replace it with, and I'm just not sure, but I'm comfortable with just tracking 4 key habits. So for the month of July, I was tracking no spend, no soda, reading, and movement. Definitely bringing the no spend over with me. I kind of trickled off my no spend towards the end of the month, and I really want to stay focused on that, especially reading and movement. So if you guys have any suggestions for a 4th habit for the month of August, definitely leave it down below in the comments. At the end of this month, which is just in a couple of days, I am going to fill in like what I was reading. I was watching Love Island. I also need to add House of the Dragon since that's about to end this week as well. Listening to, it's going to be a lot of podcasts. I'm going to try and see if I can squeeze in the couple that I've been listening to here. Loving and reading. This past week, there was an awesome like stuff your Kindle day, and I got so many books. I'm hoping that I can actually pick up the habit of reading a little bit more than I have been lately. So over on the month view, nothing has changed from last week because I haven't had anything new to add to my planner, but I did share over the last few weeks that I really have been embracing using the month view more than I did in my Hobonichi cousin. Again, I don't know if it's because it's the size of the planner or I'm still like romanticizing this new planner that I'm in since starting in July. We'll see how things go. But over the weekend, I did jump in and start filling in August with information that I already knew that I had, such as appointments and things like that. I've also included things for content in here. Some of them are still blank because I'm like, oh, that might just be a 1 video a week and that's okay. But if I can do 2, then I kind of want to schedule it, if you will. So that's where I'm kind of at there with the month of August. Still really loving this size because I'm just not feeling very overwhelmed by it, and I think that's also playing a very key role for me here. All right, let's go to the week view. This is how this past week ended up, and I'll go into more detail of what happened this week when we get to my daily pages, but I've kind of noticed as July progressed, I kind of stuck to a particular like color scheme, which I'm not totally mad about. It's just colors that I keep gravitating towards. I'm not really forcing anything. Not using kits for me personally is helping with that because I'm just loving marker and pen with a little bit of like, you know, sticker like accents here and there, but I don't always use a whole lot of stickers. Here we are with this past week. I had a lot of intentions on filming content, started to get pretty sick, and it just, things were posted later than normal. There was a lot of rest time, a lot of deep cleaning, and a lot of TV watching. So that's how this week went. This morning I spent a little bit of time filling in this coming week because on the 1st I do actually return to work. I had like a little bit of a marker snafu here. I don't know what happened. I need to figure out which marker I'm going to use for marking large periods of time, but the chisel tips always get me. And actually it wasn't a chisel tip, it was the Crayola marker. I forgot you have to like hold it a little bit differently. Anyway, the marker kicked my ass, okay? So that's what we have going on so far for this week. As you can see, it always starts off a little bit blank and then I just kind of fill in the week as it progresses. So let's jump over to the daily pages. So I think I shared a little bit of this Monday and Tuesday in last week's video. I kind of combined pages here. It just worked out really well for me. And then on Wednesday, felt like I was kind of having a good day. And then I started to feel really, really crappy. Like Monday and Tuesday, it was kind of lingering, but by Wednesday, I was like, something is not right. And I contacted my PCM, but they couldn't see me until this current week that we're in right now. And I was like, by Thursday, I was like, no, this is bad. And I ended up with the shingles. I cannot make this stuff up. I need a sticker that says, just put me in a bubble for like the rest of 2024, please. Just to sort of like backtrack. So the previous weekend, where were we? I think it was like, I don't really fill in my planner on Saturday and Sunday for daily pages. This particular weekend, we had gotten some plants to fill in some areas of our back flower beds that our landscaper had put in plants like months and months ago. They ended up dying off. I had this idea of putting in like 4 or 5 like small plants to fill in those spaces that I knew would survive the heat of the summer, right? In the middle of doing that, I was suddenly like, oh my God, is my back about to go out? It's like so me. I do have a history of a bad back, right? So I didn't think too much of it. I was like, time to take a break. I know my limits. I don't want to end up not being able to move, right, for several days because it totally sucks. I noticed later on that night when I went to shower after doing yard work and helping Jessie out there, because I was like, finally, I can be out here. I can like trim some rose bushes, right? It was very minimal stuff. I was like, I think something bit me on the back, right? Like, yeah, I was like, is that a sting? Is that a spider bite? We'll just keep an eye on it. I put some calamine lotion on it, moved on with my life. Fast forward Thursday, I ended up going to the ER since I couldn't get seen by my PCM, and they were immediately like, oh, you have the shingles, which is apparently very common when you have cancer and or your body has been through just so much trauma and your immune system just takes a nosedive when you're being treated for cancer, that this is very common. And I was not honestly just aware of that. Shingles is not, it's not fun. I did not have a lot to fill in. Honestly, the rest of the week I was like, let me just doodle in my planner, and I really just tested out some markers and just skipped right to a weekly recap because I was like, I don't have anything to put in here other than everything sucks right now. And that's how this week ended. So that's kind of where I am. The weekly recap was a little blasé because I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, this very large Kermit deserves a spot here because he is exactly how I felt on the couch this past 3 or 4 days. I did want to put like a little like what's going on kind of thing like I did the previous week in my weekly recap, like in the news kind of thing. The Olympics started. That's been super fun, although I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit hard to keep up with the time zone difference, but we're trying our best. There was the announcement that Marvel is bringing back Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom, and I'm unwell. We're so excited in this household. That's where we're at in the weekly view. I have not even started Monday's page, but let's go back to my One Book July page. I talked about this when I first started this journey, and I made a page for One Book July, and I wanted to talk about what has worked, what hasn't worked, and what I'm going to be doing moving forward now that I have tried this. I'm going to tell you right off the bat that the biggest thing that has worked for me was putting away other planners, just putting them away, out of sight, out of mind, out of temptation's reach for me, because that is how easily distracted I am. If you are someone who, generally has always used one planner, then this is easy for you. But if you're someone like me who loves and embraces trying multiple planners at the same time and just loves living in that state of like fun and excitement and chaos, because it can be chaotic at times, it is really challenging to pare it down to one book. So the very first thing I did that first week was I took all the planners off of my desk that I had always kind of been reaching for and was enticed by, and I stored them away. I didn't want them on my desk. I didn't want them within arm's reach. I only wanted this planner in front of me at all times. The second thing I will say that was extremely important was choosing a flexible system. And that's why I chose the Sterling Ink Common Planner, was because of the flexibility that it gave me with having a little bit of structure. So I had this structure in the dated monthly view and the dated weekly views, but in the back, I was given the flexibility with these daily pages not being dated and being able to use them however I want. Now, again, that's not to say that you can't do the very same thing with a dated book, but the way my brain works is the dates they were there and they felt like an assignment, and they were assigned to that day and assigned to a particular way to be used. And that is something that I am trying to work past. So being in this book and the flexibility that it gives you is allowing me to have that. I could see being in this book for the next several months and seeing how, if I hopped back into a hobonichi cousin, which by the way is never off the table. If you know me, then you know the hobonichi cousin it's just got a soft spot in my heart, right? But If I were to jump back into that book, I think after being in this book, I would have a much easier time with those daily pages. The other thing that really worked was using all the parts of the system. And if you saw how I was flipping through everything, I was really intentional about using every part of this book, right? Even if I didn't exactly use like the year at a glance, didn't mean that I wasn't using it. Sometimes I'm just looking at it to reference, oh, when is April 8th in 2025? What day does that fall on? Oh, it's a Tuesday, right? Just because there's not markings on the page doesn't mean that I'm not using it, right? I had these blank pages and I made use of them for pen swatches. I now know what I'm going to use the Scholes breakdown page for. I was intentional about using the priorities page and the habit tracking page. I also made it a point to use the monthly page because I openly shared that I struggled with using the monthly page in the Hobonichi Cousin, but I wanted to see if it would actually work using it in this book. So I think using all the parts of the system will let you know. It will actually have you feeling like this is truly one book because you're using all of its parts. And the last thing that I'll say that really, really worked was making sure that I checked in with my planner and making it a priority to check in with it daily, even if it was just once a day. Now, yes, I'm excluding weekends because I don't really rely on my planner for the weekend, but all the other days of the week, I made sure that I was coming here, checking my schedule, checking my monthly view, and really making sure that I didn't miss any appointments or deadlines. Now let's talk about what didn't work, right? Because there really is no perfect system, so we've got to leave some space for a little bit of critiquing. I will say the only thing for me that didn't work was that I did go ahead and still purchase a couple of planners during this process, and I wish that I had kind of held off a little bit because the temptation was there. While I did have them arrive and they were out of sight and out of mind, I was already like the wheels were turning and I was starting to lose a little bit of focus in this book because I was starting to feel the end of the month approaching and the excitement of being able to add something back in. And I kind of wish that I just would have actually stuck to it and waited until August 1st before I went and purchased anything. But be that as it may, I mean, it's what's done is done, right? But I still stuck to this book. Now, moving forward, what are we going to do here? I am going to continue to stay in the Sterling Ink B6 Common Planner. I don't think that that's going to come as any sort of surprise to any of you that have joined me on this journey, but I really do love this planner. This size is working for me right now in the season of life that I'm in. So I'm going to continue to stay with it. I think the goal for me will be to continue to stay in it through at least December. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. And the big reason is that 2025 planners are launching. And like I said previously, having something like the Hobonichi Cousin back in my lineup is never off the table. So that's why I said I will probably stick to this through the end of December, but then what happens in January when that cousin starts, and I actually think it might start a little bit earlier than that, what happens, happens. So I may also, moving forward, add one of the planners that I did go ahead and purchase to this system. And it's not out of need, it's more out of fun. And I think that planning and creative planning should be fun, and you shouldn't kind of imprison yourself in, unless you have to just stay in one planner and that's the way your brain works, but you don't have to force it if that's not what you want. And for me, I don't want to just use one planner forever and ever. That's not my style. I am going to incorporate the Day Designer planner that I shared that I did pick up a few weeks ago. I don't think I'm going to stay in this cover. Again, I don't know who made the cover. There's like no branding on it anywhere, but I've had it for a while. But I am going to use it. And now that we are like one day away from August, I did go ahead and start backfilling. So I haven't really planned in it per se, but I did backfill some things in here like the monthly view. But this little, it's not even pocket size, it's like A6 size. But this little cute thing is just, it's just cute and it's fun. And I don't want to carry around my journal with me to a doctor's appointment. That's just not what I want to do. But this would be the fun little to-go planner because it's super task oriented. So like if I go back to, I back planned the week of the 15th and just literally put my to-do list in here and any appointments. That's all that's in here. There's no journaling. And that's kind of all that I would need to have with me on the go. So that's kind of how this would be incorporated with that system, while being able to leave my journal at home. Because if I ever lost this, I would be extremely sad. That's what and I will say the biggest draw for me with this planner is this plastic front pocket, because you can take out this Day Designer logo situation if you wanted to and put in your own cover and essentially personalize it. And honestly, that's not something that you see very often on the shelves of big box stores, right? You just get what you get, and there's not a whole lot of way to personalize it without busting out a Cricut or slapping a bunch of stickers on it, that type of stuff. While we're on the topic of stickers, this particular decal is from Quirky Heart Designs over on Etsy. And I'm probably going to order another one. It's not stuck in here. I kept the backing on it so that I could change things up, but I thought the pink was perfect. So yeah, I will be moving forward back to the topic at hand. My moving forward plan is this is the only thing that I'm going to add for now. If you've watched me for any length of time, I make no promises to stick to something forever and ever. But overall, I will say that this one book July journey, I'm so glad that I took the time to participate in it. I never have before. I felt like this is something that I truly needed, because I was hopping around. I was buying every planner under the sun. Part of it is just what I do as my job on here, testing out different things, having them close at hand to compare to other planning systems that are available to us. But for me personally and my planning journey, it was great to kind of just stick to the one book and have this one centralized location for everything. I used to be scared of these undated pages in the back, and I am so excited that I jumped into this and gave myself the flexibility that I really have been craving. And I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to see how this book is going to serve me over the next several months. I would love to hear if you participated in One Book July and what your experience was like and how you're going to be moving forward with your planning journey. I know that I'm excited to see what the rest of 2024 holds for me and my planning, and have no doubt that I will be sharing it here on my channel. And I hope that you guys will join me on my journey. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are already subscribed, make sure you click that notification bell. As always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.